Hello everyone and welcome to my bar. My name is Ansel Birch, the Indecisionist, and I will be your dungeon barkeep today. Now, I am no expert mixologist, but like anyone tending a bar in a cave, I have an adventurous spirit and a willingness to try anything once. So, what do you say? If you want to order a cocktail, I'd love to make you something. I don't have a menu, but I'd love to make you something. I've got a set of gaming dice and a bunch of ingredients, so I think we could probably figure something out, right? We'll let fate take the wheel. We'll let the roll of these gaming dice choose what goes into your drink. What do you say? And I tell you what, I'll try it first before I ever ask you to. Sound fair? Great. Let's go ahead and do it. We'll get started with a roll of a d4 to choose an essential mixer. And that is a 1 triple sec. All right, so we're going to go straight in with the triple sec. Next is a garnish, which is a d6. That's a 3. Olives. All right, triple sec and olives. Not a traditional pairing by any stretch of the imagination, but hey, we're here. Let's get crazy. All right. That's a 2, which is Sprite. So we've got triple sec, Sprite, and olives. We're really leaning on that citrus lever, and wow, I'm a little bit worried about what that olive is gonna do. Maybe nothing. Maybe nothing. Maybe it's just there. It's a refreshing break from the citrus nightmare that is this drink. Let's go ahead and use a D10 to pick a liquor. There we go. That's a 7, which is Brandy. All right, so Brandy triple sec. All right. Interesting. All right. Now we move on to the brief edutainment portion of the show. We'll talk about bar terms with a D12. That's a 4. Dirty. Okay, since we're putting olive into this cocktail already, it makes sense to make it a little dirty. We are going to pour a little bit of olive brine into today's cocktail, and that brine should offset the sweetness of the other ingredients that are being put in there. Will that be to my benefit in today's cocktail? Almost certainly not, but we're here. Might as well see it all the way through. All right, final thing to do is choose a name for this cocktail, and that'll be done with the roll of a d20. As you can see, I've got a list of names here. These were suggested by friends online, people on my social media, as well as on my website at indecisionist.com/dungeonbarkeep, where you too can suggest names for cocktails. If you've got a fun gaming-themed cocktail name that you'd like to throw into the pot, you can absolutely do that using that form, and your name could show up on this list. I picked 20 at random using a randomizer that go on the list for each shooting. So let's roll that d20 and see how it goes. 14. I have an idea, which is my favorite thing to say and hear said at a gaming table. I have an idea. I'm pretty sure this one was put in by one of my friends to troll me, and I will not be shamed. I love saying I have an idea. I love everything that happens after you've said that, and here we are, living that out in real life after more than a year of doing this show. I had an idea, and I'm still doing it. All right, so let's switch over to the bar top cam and see how I have an idea comes together. This feels like a build it in the glass kind of drink. There's really no benefit to be gained from building it in a shaker. So we'll start with a glass and add a few d6 of cold damage. All right, so we've got our cold damage in place. That's just a chunk of ice, so that's fine. We're going to do an ounce of triple sec. Next up is our olive brine, because we're serving this one dirty. For today's cocktail, I have garlic stuffed olives. Only the finest from Aldi. set my garnish off to the side here. And just sploosh a little bit of brine. All right, so that's like a quarter of an ounce. All right, so there's our garnish. Our mixer is Sprite. All right, so we've got a can of Sprite on hand. That's ready to go. Next up is our liquor. Brandy. She's a fine girl. We'll do 2 ounces of brandy. There we are. And we'll top it with that Sprite. It's probably about 4 ounces of Sprite, if I had to guess. And there we are. There's our cocktail. Ooh, okay. So once again, this is the I Have an Idea. All right, so how does it taste? Okay, I think I want the olives down in the glass. It mostly tastes of triple sec. The brandy, I think, is just sort of elaborating on the triple sec situation. The olive, strangely enough, doesn't seem to really be making its presence known. It's like a little bit on the back of your tongue. You get just a briefest whiff of that olive. Only in that it sort of gives it like a salted caramel vibe. Not to say that it tastes like salted caramel, but it vibes with salted caramel. Or caramel, if you prefer. Yeah, it's the brandy and the triple sec are really just like bringing it home. The sweetness of the Sprite and the existing like lemon liminess of the Sprite, I think, are serving to accentuate the triple sec flavor. And the brandy is just sort of getting lost in the general sweetness of it all. So if you like fruity drinks and you like salted caramel, I think this is your jam. I'm a little bit here for it. And, if somebody were making them, I would drink them. It wouldn't be my go-to. I like my drinks a little drier usually, but yeah. I think this is a great example of its name. I Have an Idea sort of leads me to think about the wild card. One of my favorite kinds of player or character is somebody who is constantly thinking around the edges of the problem at hand and like looking for excuses and weird things to do that sort of change up the scenario by ignoring the main thing that you focus on and asking questions about the side material, asking questions about the rooms nearby, looking at connections that other players and characters might be missing because they're focused on the problem at hand. I really appreciate the wild card because they're the people who are going to pull the lever. They're the ones that are going to go down the trapdoor. They're the ones who are going to open the portal before everybody's ready. In many ways, I think that the wild card character or player brings to the table something that is necessary to keep an RPG moving, or at least very helpful in keeping the RPG moving. So I feel like this is the drink for a wild card, in that, like, you came into the space, you saw the stuff that was available, you saw that there was triple sec, you saw that there was Sprite, you saw that there was Brandy, and you were like, yeah, I can make this work. And you made this quickly, you had it ready, it was done, and then moved on to the other problems in the room. And so by virtue of having done it sooner, it's done. Like, if you need a cocktail later on in the scenario for some reason, you've already done one. And this sort of speaks to that, like, Johnny on the spot attitude of preparation, which I'm a big fan of. And the more I drink it, the more it grows on me, which is true also of wildcard characters. So yeah, I think this drink makes me think of that kind of character more than it does a certain scenario, but it certainly makes me think of an adventure. If I were going to put this into an adventure, that is the scenario I would want. Is like, okay, you walk into a room, you have all these ingredients, you also have a like a door with a lock, and the rest of the party is going to focus on the lock first rather than the cocktail ingredients, and your wild card has an idea and is going to make a cocktail. I think if once you unlock the door, there's a sudden need for a cocktail, like the door unlocking means that the only way to complete the sequence means feeding it a cocktail in time. The only way that that's going to work. Oh, what if it's okay? So it's not a cocktail. If your adventure isn't alcoholic, which, let's be honest, I'm not running alcoholic adventures. Although I might. Maybe TTRPG Pickup Con October needs a booze adventure. But if you've got like a vial and you've put all of the ingredients into it already, I could see a situation where the wild card has like poured all of the ingredients into a glass already and just dumps them into the key. And the DM has to roll a D percentile to be like, okay, well, maybe that'll work. You did, hypothetically, I wanted you to pour the blue one in there, but you've poured all of them, one of which is the blue. I'm going to roll a D percentile to see if it works, and it's kind of up to chance at that point. And that's where the wild card really shines, is in those moments where chance is the arbiter. And I think this is exactly that. This is an illustration of that ethos. So yeah, that's where I would put this in a gaming context. How I would work this cocktail into an adventure. If you've enjoyed this cocktail, if you enjoyed any of the cocktails that I've made on this channel, please like, comment, and subscribe, all the stuff that YouTubers usually tell you how to do. But most importantly, check out the website, indecisionist.com/dungeonbarkeep. There's plenty more to enjoy there. And I hope you all have a great rest of your day, and drink adventurously. Yeah, that could work.